Genshin Impact's 2.0 Spiral Abyss update came with one of the most challenging reworks we've ever seen, and statistically speaking, this new Spiral Abyss is the most difficult one yet. So it's important to keep in mind what characters work best in this challenging new scene, because after all, a full 36-star clear grants you 600 free Primogems. Side note, I will not be putting Ganyu, Hu Tao, or Xiao on this list because everyone and their mother already knows they'd be on it. They're broke. Coming in at number 5, we have Xiangling, the 4-star Pyro Polearm user who somehow manages to constantly outperform half the 5 stars in the game. Because of the heavy emphasis on reaction damage in this new Abyss, there's no better reactive element to throw into your team than Pyro, and the cool thing about Xiangling is that she takes Pyro reactions to an entirely new level with her high base elemental mastery and ability to shred Pyro resistance at C1. If that wasn't enough for you, you can equip her with a 4-piece Crimson Witch of Flame set to further increase her reaction capabilities, making her that much stronger on the field for most of this Abyss's chambers. Xiangling has always made it onto tier lists given her extremely well-designed kit, but with these Abyss changes, I'd argue that she's shining now more than she ever has, given her accessibility to free-to-play players and the Pyro punch she packs, or lunch she packs, cause she's a chef. I'm gonna move on now. In the number 4 spot, we have the fan favorite from Inazuma, Kazuha, a 5-star Anemo sword wielder. Small disclaimer, there are a lot of Anemo characters you can substitute Kazuha for to receive similar effects, but the truth is, nobody performs quite the way Kazuha does in this Abyss, except for Venti, but he's Venti. So Kazuha has a lot of crowd control that's not only easy to pull off, but also comes with a high uptime given his short cooldowns. I'd like to add that crowd control is extremely important in this Abyss because there is an absolute Bulbasaur ball ton of enemies in most of these chambers. The entire premise of his kit is generally the same as Xiangling's. He comes with high base elemental mastery and actually greatly benefits from focusing elemental mastery substats given his ability to massively increase his team's damage against a specific element based on his total elemental mastery. And that's not even counting the fact that his best in slot artifact set, a 4-piece Viridescent Venerer, allows him to shred enemies' elemental resistance to the element he swirls by 40%. All of these damage buffs and enemy resistance shreds on top of the fact that he has really efficient crowd control capabilities makes him a perfect fit for almost any team you toss at the Spiral Abyss. Coming in at number 3 is yet another Pyro character, arguably the most overpowered of them all, Bennett. Bennett is a 4-star Pyro sword user who has garnered a reputation as the best support in the game given all of the utility he brings to the table. Given the heavy emphasis on Pyro reactions in this Spiral Abyss, Bennett fits in quite well, and it allows him to support on Pyro resonance teams such as Cleve Bennett, Hu Tao Bennett, Diluc Bennett, and even the upcoming Yoimiya Bennett. Having strong heals is a must in Spiral Abyss, and 2.0's Abyss is no exception. In fact, it's like the opposite. If you don't have heals, you're kinda screwed. So it is a good thing Bennett's here, because not only does he provide unrealistically high healing output, but at the same time he applies an attack boost to your team based on his attack. Pair him with a 4-piece Noblesse Oblige and his burst even further increases your team's attack, making him the perfect all-rounder that, like Kazuha, can fit into many team comps. Just don't activate his C6 like I did. It's not worth getting rid of that stupid exclamation point. And at number 2, we have the little alcohol industry war criminal herself, Diona. You might be wondering why Diona is so high on this list, or even that she's on this list at all, but there's one big reason among many other smaller reasons. Diona is a cryo character, and in this new Abyss, as I've stated, elemental reactions are heavily encouraged, some of the strongest of which being those with Pyro. However, I'd argue that hands down the strongest element you can bring to this Abyss is cryo. There are almost no enemies, besides this nightmare, in the entire 9 through 12 floors that have any resistance to cryo and its reactions. This allows Diona to fill her best role as a cryo battery support who, like Bennett, is a bit of an all-rounder. Diona provides amazing and high uptime shielding for her teammates along with an elemental burst that not only has very high healing capabilities, but also debuffs enemies at the same time. On top of all of this, Diona generates a lot of energy as a cryo support, especially if you equip her with the sacrificial bow. So pairing her with characters like Ganyu and Eula will allow you to make the most of Diona's ability to enable your main DPS character. Conveniently for the flow of this video's script, my number 1 pick for the top 5 happens to be one of Diona's strongest cryo pairs, Ayaka, the newest addition to the Genshin roster and by far one of the strongest for this Abyss. Ayaka's constant cryo application allows her to easily shred the shields of most enemies in this Abyss, such as heralds and mages, but also her strongest team setup, the Freeze team, happens to be an amazing strategy for this Abyss given the massive waves of enemies in most chambers. Pair her with a Hydro sub DPS like Mona or Xingqiu and an Anemo crowd controller like Sucrose, Kazuha, or Venti, and you'll find that she can make quick work of the majority of these chambers. When running Ayaka as a Freeze team carry, it's best to pair her with the 4-piece Blizzard Strayer so that you can make the most of your crit rate to crit damage ratio while attacking frozen enemies. But that about does it for my list of powerful characters in this Abyss. If you want to stay up to date with Genshin news and see more content like this, feel free to subscribe and/or join my Discord server, cause there's a lot of cool people to meet and hang out with on there. Okay, bye!